Hey, good morning, class. Welcome in. We're actually going to have our third and final discussion on this business unit. We've taken a look at business organizations. We have taken a look at sole proprietorships and partnerships. Now we're going to take a quick peek at the corporate world and the world of franchises. So let's dive into this. And again, we're continuing to work on building our business. There's going to be probably a little bit of a reflection on what we've been talking about with maybe a prompt. And you'll see that as we get later into the week. Okay? All right, here we go. So what is a corporation? So understand this. If you elect to not have any more partners, you want to seek financial backers to fund your company, you are setting up a corporation. A corporation is an organization owned by many people, but treated by law as though it were a person. Corporations can own land, pay taxes, make contracts, etc. A stock represents ownership rights to a certain portion of the future profits and assets of the company that issues the stock. With limited liability, shareholder losses are only limited to the amount of investments they made within the company. Example of bankruptcy. Okay, so remember that limited liability, if you jump in as a member, you are not going to lose as much as the owners would lose. Okay, now, registering the corporation. Articles of incorporation are required in order to essentially be approved by the state and federal governments. These articles are going to include name, address, and the purpose of the corporation. Next, you're going to need the name and addresses of the initial board of directors. Then, you'll need the number of shares of stock to be issued. And lastly, you're going to need the amount of money capital to be raised through issuing that stock. So if the state approves, a corporation is granted what we call a corporate charter. This is the license that allows you to become a corporation. So these are the steps. This is kind of how you would have to go through the process. Again, the things that are required are what we call articles of incorporation. You basically make that checklist, you go through, and then you're granted what we call a corporate charter. Selling stock. So again, to raise funds for your business, you can sell shares of stock. Now, there are different types of stock. We've learned about the stock market, but let's look at some different types of stock here. We have what we call common stock. This gives investors part ownership into the corporation, a right to percentage of future profits, and a vote at annual stockholder meetings. So this is common stock. A dividend is the portion of a corporation's profits paid out to the stockholders. So if you were to cash big on a particular stock, this would be what they call a dividend. Now, there's also something called a preferred stock. And a preferred stock is the guarantee, a dividend of future profits. However, there are no voting rights. So typically, most people will get involved with a preferred stock. And lastly, what we have are what we call bylaws. Now, bylaws are a set of rules on how stock will be sold and how dividends will be sent out. So each corporation is going to set their own bylaws. They're going to decide who to distribute the dividends to. Now, within each corporation, we do have what we call a board of directors. Now, I always think of the board of directors as like Wayne Enterprises from Batman, right? So Bruce Wayne and all the people that are always in that room as he's coming back from a night of crime fighting, they're always making those decisions. So the board of directors, again, are going to be involved with corporations here. Now, in order to be incorporated, a board of directors must be established, all right? You and your partners get to select the first board, all right, while stockholders get to elect a board. Those bylaws, again, are going to be determining who you sell your stock to and how those dividends are going to be distributed. The board is responsible for supervising and controlling the corporation. So while, again, Bruce Wayne is out and about, the board of directors is typically making decisions while he's away. Okay? Franchises. Let's talk about franchises. This is going to be our last talking point for today. Now, franchises like fast food chains are in a contract in which a corporation sells the right to use its name and sell its products. The parent company is what we call the franchisor, while the people buying the rights are known as the franchisee. All right, advantages? Hey, name recognition. People know what McDonald's is. People know what a Burger King is. People know what a Pizza Hut is. You have a set business plan and model. It is already a blueprint. It is just basically put in place as you take over that particular building. And you have the ability to advertise. You can advertise and promote your particular franchise. However, there are some disadvantages. Loss of control. You could run into some legal trouble. and perhaps a loss in quality. So we kind of talked about this, is that the more McDonald's that are being built, all right, all in all, you're going to have a very mixed bag as to which is a good McDonald's and which is a poor McDonald's in terms of service, in terms of quality. And you will see, again, you will see what we call corporate McDonald's, all right, and you will also see those franchise McDonald's, the ones that are family owned or owned by an individual, and you can tell the difference in quality, in terms of service, and again, that is something that can be a disadvantage if it's not run the correct way. Okay? All right, so I appreciate your attention here. I appreciate you guys working hard on your projects. This is it for the unit, a very short unit, but one that I think is important and one that's going to help us out in the long run. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.